riders or not. Today on the vlog we have Triumph Thruxton R Street Tracker, the Maverick for night watches. And we have the customer, the builder, and the reason why the bike is here. Would you like to introduce yourselves, please?
Yeah, hi, I'm Roger Green. I'm the owner of Night Watches. I commissioned Graham Billy Billington from Speed Shop TV to build this bike for us for the show that this man owns, which is the Kickback Custom Motorcycle Show.
When is it exactly? Is 8th till 9th?
2.5 weeks' time.
2.5. But when the video will be out, it will be not 2.5 weeks. You ruined everything. Now we have to start everything again.
The dates. Oh, we'll just move the date then.
Yeah. Is it 8th and 9th?
8th and 9th of April.
8th and 9th of April. Come and see us.
How many bikes is there?
140 odd.
140?
We've got 140 custom-made masterpieces, most of which will be unveiled for the very first time anywhere.
That is
And
exciting.
you'll be able to see the bikes and speak and meet the builders as well, and talk to them about their fantastic bikes, like this one.
Including this one.
This one.
This will be revealed.
This will be revealed, unveiled.
The factory is trying to create a brilliant product, so why change it? You got Olin's rear, the best you can get, Showa front, Brembo brakes, so I'd be stupid to change any of that. So the looks obviously is the most important thing, and when any custom builder will tell you it's got to look right. It doesn't matter what you put into it. If it doesn't look right, it's it's something wrong there, isn't there? So we just had to change the visual part of it. And with any custom bike, the cost, obviously, how much you've got to put into it, that's what it's all down to. And I think for what we've added here, I think with the cost, we've done pretty well to change the look of a CAF racer, because it looks a completely different bike. If you get the photos side by side of what they are now, it's a completely different bike with, I don't want to say minimal work, because then that says I haven't done a lot, but
Certainly not.
yeah, we've created a good product there from what it was, and I think if Triumph were to create some sort of tracker, that would be hopefully what they'd look at, something like that.
Can you introduce yourself properly as a builder, just to add credibility to the build?
Credibility.
You're some kind of a star. For people who don't have TV like me and don't know,
Yeah, so I'm Billy, and I've been building or working on bikes for about 9 years now, ever since I was discharged from the military. I came to this place, Espon Vintage Workshop, which I met Titch, and we were building bikes together. It's more of a man cave, hobby type thing. It was just having a bit of fun, and then this sort of TV show, The Speed Shop, came about on the BBC. Also, the production company made it and then sold it to the BBC, and then so we made that. It was about 2 years ago now, so that aired last year, which was cool. But since that's finished, I've been doing it for myself at home. I've got my own workshop at home where I generally work on my own products and make my own sort of parts and stuff, and I do the odd customer bike. Roger obviously approached me about this, and I said yes. I don't just want to take on anything. It's only if I'm interested in it, I'll do it.
Plus we're sort of regulars here, aren't we? So
Exactly, yeah. Roger's someone I've known through the S-Bomb and stuff, so that's obviously why I said yes to do it, and I'm glad I did, because the bike's turned out pretty cool.
did you struggle with anything while doing, except from working with Roger, of course?
Just apart from working with Roger, now Roger was really good actually, because firstly he gave me a bike that
Did you pay him?
it was immaculate.
Oh, okay,
wasn't
that's
it?
why.
He hasn't paid me more. No, I don't normally start with bikes that are in that good a condition, to be honest. So for me it was ideal. And he actually gave me he got a graphic designer and gave me a picture of what he wanted, so I couldn't really go wrong. And if I did go wrong, then yeah, it's a big, faux pas on my part. So I had a picture to go off, and it was fairly straightforward from there, really. As for the fitting the parts or making some of the bits and stuff, it's the seat that gave me the biggest issue, because I've never worked with fiberglass before, and I had a friend kind of help me out with it. But it turned out in the end quite nice. There's a bit of donkey work to go into it to get it to look pretty, and then obviously the paintwork just dresses it all up and finishes it off.
I mean, we had the situation to start, didn't we, where what Billy was thinking was flat tracker. Everyone sort of thought that I wanted a flat tracker, but being, I started riding motorcycles in 1974. So that's when I got my first.
Were you around then?
No, well, you were still at school.
Oh.
Same school as me. You were one of the young kids, 4 years younger than me. But so when I started riding there, you had a lot of quite sleek-looking bikes. I mean, I used to have a Kawasaki 750, and it had this beautiful, like a tail flick, a really neat, tidy tail flick. A little bit like this, to be honest. And I've always liked that style. I mean, bearing in mind when we were in the 1970s, when it was the years of the Suzuki Hustler and all of these bikes, everyone had Cowons in those days.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I wasn't around.
Yeah, neither was I, thankfully.
We missed
I can
that.
vouch
We
for
missed
it.
the best
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, the tank itself, I was looking for a smaller tank that fitted. And, we looked at scrambler tanks, the current scrambler tank, which is quite bulbous. I just knew it wouldn't cut it with this style bike. So I looked a bit further, and I found an immaculate Triumph 900 scrambler tank from 2016, which actually is the same year as that bike, as the Thruxton. And with a little bit of a modification, Billy managed to get it to fit to the frame. We had to adjust he had to adjust the clips. And
it mounts differently. So it's just the mounting location, but obviously with that, because the Thruxton tank's a lot longer, so I've had to move the seat forward a bit, obviously, because you can't have it was probably, I don't know, what, 50 mil shorter.
Yeah.
So I couldn't have a big gap, so I've had to move the seat forward slightly, but still try and hide everything at the back. But it's like I say, the tank and the seat work really well together, and you wouldn't even know that.
What exhaust is on? Have you changed the entire exhaust?
That is actually a Zad. It's an Italian company. It's not for this bike, although I was told it was.
No, I told you it was for a scrambler.
You want it like a cheap watch.
I think I took the punt on it because I didn't. So they do make an exhaust for the Thruxton, but it didn't look like right for this bike.
So I managed to, I manipulated it quite a bit to get it in there, and I've made different mounting points and that for it. But although we're still going to lift it a bit higher, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's going to take it up ever so slightly so it hides the bottom of the bottom of the frame a bit. So again, just more work, taking different mounts again. But no, it's bloody fantastic.
That's the only thing.
And it's loud. It is really loud. I'm surprised that's legal, but it is apparently.
So can you take us through very quickly through everything that is changed on the bike?
Starting at the bottom at the front, the wheels are actually the original wheels. We just took them apart, powder coated the hub and the rims, and then stainless spokes and put brass nipples in, which works really well with the gold on the finished paint job. Cut the front fender down to make it a lot shorter, because a flat tracker wouldn't normally have a front mud guard. It might have a fork brace, but obviously we want, for legal reasons and to stop the rain getting in your face, I just cut the fender down a little bit. Coming up, we've fitted I think they're called Moto Gadget Ice Blast. They're a new thing that they've just come out with. These indicators, they're really good, cool actually. They're really bright. Yeah, they're quite smart. They're not cheap.
How much?
It's £80 an indicator, was it?
Yeah, something like that.
For what? £80 for what?
With all the electrical connections, it's about £250 for the indicators.
You'll tell your wife.
Yeah, she might see this. We did a handlebar conversion again, which comes as a one-piece. Handlebars, the riser, the yoke, and clutch extension, because obviously different locations for the clutch cable.
Did you have to extend all the cables?
Just the clutch cable, which actually came with the kit, so it was nice and straightforward to me. The tank, obviously, we spoke about already, come off the Scrambler 900, different mounting points. Fuel cap on the top, which I've had engraved with Rogers logo and the Maverick on. Exhaust we've already covered, the Zad there. I can't even see what am I now. On the where the Triumph put the fake carb, the throttle bodies essentially, aren't they? But they make them look like carbs. I've made the little the caps that go on the end there for them. I've turned them out on the lathe and again put his logo on them.
Don't forget the pegs.
Yeah. What else we do? Same as the foot pegs. I turned the foot pegs out on the lathe, which are actually my favourite bit. I've got them. Yeah, I've turned them out on the lathe and put his logo on it as well. Oh, the last bit as well. We forgot the little bar ends there. I always forget about them because they're quite small. We put rather than just having the cheap plasticky ones we put in there, we made them for him. Seat unit. Don't want to go in talking about that because fiberglass is horrible stuff, but it looks fantastic now. It's horrible stuff to work with. But actually the finished article's amazing, and the seat, the pan was made out of fiberglass as well, and then we got Kev at Holy Goat custom motorcycle seats to cover it in that tan, sort of faded tan type look.
Olin shocks?
Olin shocks, so I just took them apart and had the springs powder coated black because, as everyone knows, Olin's is normally yellow colour and it wouldn't fit in with this, so we painted it black. New chain there, gold chain to tie in with a paint job, which was a last minute decision, wasn't it? And I'm glad we did it.
Yeah.
So it had a new chain on it, but I thought that it was Roger's idea to put the gold one on it, and I'm glad he made that decision because it looks a lot better. Yeah. What else are we? Yeah, just the tail light again, indicators, number plate bracket, the usual little bits and bobs like that we've made. Some cases on the engine there that we've turned again on the lathe. I've turned on the lathe. What else have we done?
Swing arm, stock.
Swing arm's completely stock, yeah. Don't really want to, I don't think there's any point in changing the geometry of the bike, because try and make it in a factory, don't they, like that for a reason.
And those beautiful carburetors as well.
Yeah, the cover, I think I mentioned them, didn't I?
Yeah.
The fake carbs, throttle bodies, whatever they're not throttle bodies, didn't they?
Oh, and you chopped off the
took away the massive rear foot peg hangers that Triumph put on there, and we definitely don't want a pillion on this, so we chopped them off and blanked them with some alley bungs. You can't see on that side, but you can see them here. Where are we? Anywhere else? I think that's about it covered. Some black, obviously, spark plug caps, which again, little things like that finish it off, because you get that horrible burgundy one and it just wouldn't fit in. But the finer detail, should we say. And the tyres, obviously, yeah, we've got them tracker tyres. I almost forgot about them. They finish the look off.
Supermoto tyres?
What are they?
Are they Supermoto?
I don't know what brand. I think is it how you say it? Heidenau? I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but that's what they are.
They're pretty beefy.
17-inch. 17-inch wheels.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that that we've put on here is which is a nod to Night Watches, is that our ambassador program at Night Watches are called everyone who is an ambassador for us is called a Night Maverick, and they have to meet a certain criteria. One of them is to actually be someone who has a maverick attitude towards life. And we have a number of mavericks within our community. We have everyone from extreme athletes, endurance athletes, to mountaineers, to surfers, to all kinds of people. So the Maverick bike, which we have very subtly branded, is also a sort of a Maverick name, is something that a lot of motorcyclists really aspire to being, I think. The weekend Maverick. So you could work in a bank, you could work on a building site, but at the weekend you can be a Maverick on your motorbike. So that's where the word Maverick came from.
How did you came up overall? How did you came up with that idea?
Well, to be honest, I've always had a passion for motorcycles ever since I was old enough to get a driving license, and I come from the same town as Lorne. Actually, I fell out of touch with Lorne for about 30 years because he moved away from the area, and he came back into the area, and we met him through another friend, and we got together, and he told me about his Kickback custom show, which has been going for like 12 years. And I was on the verge of thinking about getting another bike, and at the same time I actually met Billy, and S-Bomb was sort of coming to life, and I was sort of getting back into the motorcycle scene. And so suddenly I had someone who owns a custom motorcycle show and someone who builds motorcycles, and I had a watch brand that I wanted to take into the motorcycle community in a way that engaged with the people in that community rather than just saying, hey, we're night watchers, buy a night watch. I wanted to say, look, you know, we're part of the motorcycle community. We love bikes, we're passionate about it. So I agreed with Lorne to create a bike that we would launch at the Kickback show. And not only are we going to launch it there, but we actually completely sponsored the whole show.
If you want to see more about the bike, if you want to see the entire build, you can see that. I will drop the link at the Night Watches website. Also, come and see us at the Kickback. I'm bringing Jonesy as well on the nightstand next to this beautiful Maverick. Jonesy and Maverick will be together for a first time meeting.
Is that the name of your bike?
Yeah, his name Jonesy.
Who the hell's Jonesy?
Come and see us. And now can I ride the bike?
Sure.
Now I'm in the van with Billy, getting ready to ride across the bridge that you ran across naked.
I did indeed.
For a TV show.
On the show called The Speed Shop. Wasn't my proudest moment, but it
Was it?
I lost the bet, yes, so I had to run across the bridge naked. Fortunately, it was on a drone, so you don't get to see much.
So you can't see the bits. So luckily for this show, I don't have to run across the bridge naked, especially in this weather when between the shots I'm warming up in Billy's van, all keyed up, waiting for a camera to get ready. And now, guys, I will ride the bike across the bridge, and I will take you through that. Okay, see you in a bit. Ready to go. Look at this, so beautiful. And that bridge, I'm going across that bridge. Now you don't see me riding, so I can ride how I want it. So that's a little bumpy bits. Tuck through. Actually, the bike feels great. I think it needs a little bit of mapping because of a changed exhaust. I suggested that to guys. Can you hear it? But overall, it feels great. I thought at the beginning that the sitting position, because they haven't changed the pegs but raised the bars, I thought at the beginning maybe it will be a little bit strange. But once I got on the bike and started riding, it's actually, maybe I even prefer it that way. Oh, can you hear that sound? Sounds amazing. How do I get back? Because that goes that way.
You want to give me the helmet, take my camera, and I'll ride the bike back. That's another option.
No, I want to ride it. I want to ride it.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, it's a weird place, this, because it's like nothing's in a straight line.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but like
don't know the area.
all fucking England is like this.
Oh, right.
Okay, so we're following this lane. He said it's like a big roundabout. A bit of a mud. Feels good, that bike. He said before the bridge, so it's not there.